What's up, everybody? I am Travesty.
And I'm Cartoon Joe.
And welcome back to the 200th episode of this freaking show. It is the weekly podcast that's a little bit of something and a whole lot of nothing. The same weekly podcast that is brought to you by Freakin Studios. Guys, make sure to check out freakinstudios.com to see the amazing podcast that we are associated with, just like Just Freakin' Wrestling and Gray Area. Together we created a YouTube channel where we post up videos on vlogs and food rankings and food challenges and stuff like that. Also, a special treat for you guys. Starting in October, you will be able to watch the cemetery tours that me and the Freak Joe did for the celebration of Halloween throughout the entire month of October during this freaky show. So make sure you go to YouTube, search Freaknet Studios, subscribe to the channel, make sure you hit the notification bell so you know when those videos drop. Now, me and the Freak Joe did do 8 tours, 8 different cemeteries. They will be released twice a week throughout the month of October, so make sure you check those out and enjoy the videos as we enjoyed making them for you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. 200th episode, Joe.
It's awesome. I can't believe we made it this far.
We did. It's for the dumpster fire that 2020 has been, we're reaching one of these nice milestones for us. It's, I guess, like, if you look at, like, if we could just live in our little podcast world during 2020, it was probably the best year of our life.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Right, until you fucking have to go and face reality and shit and realize it's still burning to the fucking ground.
True.
Yeah.
True that. Half the country's on fire now, which is
yeah. Cool. Yeah. And it's not all based from the California forest fires.
Yep.
Back in the day, it used to be just the forest fires that was burning the world down. Now it's us as a society. But at least we're doing something together.
Yep.
Oh God.
There it is.
Guys, we have reached 200th episode. That's today. As I mentioned on our social media, we are going to do the Ask Us Anything as we did in the season finale of season 3. So we got a couple of those questions, so we'll kind of go through those throughout the episode. We're also going to update you on the presidential bracket. We're going to do, obviously, keep moving forward with what freaking happened this week in history. And maybe just kind of reminisce a little bit about some of the episodes we've done in the last 100 episodes. So we'll move forward and all that, and we'll obviously jump into our That Freaking Happened segment in a minute. But I do want to remind you guys that this episode is sponsored by ballwash.com. And guys, if you're a huge fan of staying clean, staying very hygienic, making sure that you look as good as you can, you want to get the best product for that. And that's where ballwash.com comes in. Now, I know what you're thinking, ballwash.com, why do I need a product that just focuses on my genitals? Well, guys, it doesn't focus just on your genitals. They also have a shampoo and conditioner for your scalp. They have a body wash for your entire body, including your genitals. And they also have a nut rub and powder that you can put on post-wash. They cover you from head to toe, from hole to pole. Go to ballwash.com, fill up your cart with all their products, and at the checkout, go into the little promo code section, type in FreakNet, that's FREAKNET. It'll save you 15% on your entire order. That's right, guys, ballwash.com, get the funk out of your junk.
Nice. This freaking show is also brought to you by Audible.com. If you would like to have a book read to you so that you don't have to go through the trouble of reading it to yourself, head on over to audibletrial.com/freaknet and get yourself a free 30-day trial plus a credit towards your first audiobook purchase. It's a great way to read something fantastic like anything by Terry Pratchett or Dune by Frank Herbert, which is a movie that's coming out soon. Great way to get caught up on all the best parts of books and literature. So head on over to audibletrial.com/freaknet right now.
Nice. Joey, I want to leave it up to you, man. We had a conversation over the weekend about what we're going to bring to this freaking show in season 5.
Yes.
Now, I know we want to kind of plan ahead so we can get ready for the season premiere, but I want to leave it up to you. Do you want to make that announcement today, or do you want to wait on it?
Let's wait on it.
Want to wait on it?
Yeah, I think so.
Cool. Just to verify, are we waiting on it because you don't remember, or because you think we really should wait on it?
Because I think we really should wait on it.
Excellent. Okay. All right. Leave them wanting more.
Yep.
All right, Joe. What freaking happened this week?
I thought I had something that had happened, and then I found out after a little bit more research that it didn't happen this week, so I don't know. How about you tell me what happened this week?
I will. September 26, 1983, the man who prevented World War III. After saving the world, he was reprimanded for not correctly documenting the incident. Stanislav Petrov was the duty officer at a Soviet early warning system when the system reported that up to 6 Minutemen intercontinental ballistic missiles had been launched from the United States. This was just 3 weeks after the Soviet military had shot down Korean airline flight 007, killing all 269 people aboard, including U.S. Congressman Larry McDonald and many other Americans. Petrov believed it to be a false alarm and disobeyed orders by not reporting the attack to his superiors. He feared that had he reported the attack, his superiors would have launched a retaliatory nuclear attack, leading to an all-out nuclear war. Later, analysts showed that the detection system had malfunctioned and it was indeed a false alarm. Petrov was reprimanded for not correctly documenting the incident.
That's one of my favorite stories. I always forget about it.
I never knew about it. That's why I like doing this with you, Joe. You know, it's like, you know, like I want to find like the most interesting thing. And oddly enough, a lot of the stuff that I found was like TV show related. Like everything, like Happy Days and Family Ties. It was like, this show started this week, and like, you know, it was just like, well, you know, a lot of stuff happened, but I was like, I want to get more into like hey, what is really fucking cool about this week? And I found it. Dude saved World War III and got punished for it.
Yep. That's how it goes.
Yeah. Yeah. Did you find one, Joe, or did you want to move on?
Yeah, let's just move on. There was nothing really good. You know what? I can talk about the one that I had found that turned out not to be right. It depends on how you measure it. So in the early 1900s, because I can't even remember the date right now, the Model T, the Ford Model T, was invented, and the first one began production on August 12th. I think it was 1909. I might be a little bit off on the date there. That's what I'm going to go with. And gotcha. It finished production today, September 24th, which is pretty cool. Or I think it finished production. That's what it said in the thing. The first Model T Ford was produced in the factory as of today, but it didn't go on sale until October 1st. And Wikipedia also says that it was built on August 12th. So it's like, it's hard to tell, you know, it seems weird that it would take a month and a couple of weeks to build something. Especially with the importance of the assembly line, which was really, I think, more the invention than the Model T. But pretty cool. Without it, cars wouldn't be the way they are today. And my favorite fact about the old Tin Lizzie, as they called it, was it came in your favorite color as long as your favorite color was black.
I remember hearing that. That's really cool. I'll count it, Joe. It's our show. It works.
Fair enough.
All right. We have POTUS Beatdown 2020. Guys, if you haven't listened up over the last couple episodes as we've been doing this, we created a bracket of presidents. There were 32 presidents we started out with. And we randomly paired them up against each other. We threw a poll up on our social media, and you guys voted for who you think would win in a fight between President A, President B, so on and so forth. Currently, we have Theodore Roosevelt, Martin Van Buren, Grover Cleveland, Ulysses S. Grant, George Washington, Andrew Johnson, John Adams, and Lyndon B. Johnson moving on to the next round. Now, this past week, we had 4 new head-to-head matchups that you guys voted on. We had Abraham Lincoln taking on James Madison, James Garfield taking on Gerald Ford, Rutherford B. Hayes taking on John F. Kennedy, Ronald Reagan taking on John Tyler. So, the results for those are in. It's no surprise Abraham Lincoln did beat out John Adams by almost 9 votes. So
wow,
yeah,
that's huge in our polls.
Yeah, and not surprising because it's Abe Lincoln. I mean, I'm sure if you put him up against, let's say, JFK, probably a lot closer.
Mm-hmm.
James Garfield beat out Gerald Ford. That one was within a couple votes, maybe 2 or 3 or something like that. I don't remember in front of me. I know that one was very close. Rutherford B. Hayes and John F. Kennedy was actually tied for the longest time. But we did have a final vote on it, put up on our This Freakin' Show, Facebook page. So make sure you guys follow us on, This Freakin' Show because we do put the polls up in the stories. So you can check that out. Rutherford B. Hayes did happen to come ahead. So,
oh wow.
I was actually surprised by that. I figured Kennedy would have gone through. But and that's another thing I think when it came to Rutherford B. Hayes. I just liked Rutherford B. Hayes just because of his fucking name. That's how I voted.
Great name.
I think a lot of people, and I'm not going to name names, but I think some people really just vote opposite to make them seem tied because of people like that. But I'm not sure. But yeah, so Rutherford B. Hayes did win. I believe that was by a couple votes in the last day and stuff like that. Cause like I mentioned, if there is eventual tie as it comes to the end of the polling, me and Joe would, make the decision from that point. Hypothetically, Joe, if this was a tie, would you have, picked Rutherford or would you have gone with, Kennedy?
I believe I picked Rutherford when I voted.
Mm-hmm.
So that's who I would pick.
Awesome. So he will have won regardless.
Yep.
Alright. And then, finally we had, Ronald Reagan taking on John Tyler, and Ronald Reagan did pick up the win against John Tyler in that about twice as many votes. So
good for him.
Yeah. So Lincoln, Garfield, Hayes, and Reagan do move on to the next round. Our final, I can't remember, first round, I guess we'll just call it, to go in this week. And again, these will all be posted on our Facebook story of This Freakin' Show, so make sure you follow us on This Freakin' Show. Dwight D. Eisenhower is taking on Franklin D. Roosevelt. John Q. Adams will be taking on William Taft. James Polk will be taking on James Monroe. And Andrew Jackson will be taking on Franklin Pierce. So.
Nice.
Yeah.
Franklin Pierce.
Yeah. You know, I don't know. I don't really know much about Franklin Pierce. I know he was, I'm trying to figure out if he was the flamboyant one, but I might be getting him mixed up with Buchanan.
Oh, I think it's Buchanan.
Yeah, because there's something about Franklin Pierce. I was like, holy shit, this guy's actually kind of a badass. But I thought there was something about not manscaping, but just maintaining his appearance and shit like that.
Oh, maybe he doesn't have a beard, which was unusual.
Yeah, was he maybe the first one that didn't have facial hair in some way?
Maybe. No, because Washington didn't have facial hair.
Yeah, but did he have really long sideburns and shit?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe.
I don't know.
I can't picture him in my head.
Yeah, I've been on a facial hair kick for the last day since I had to shave my beard over.
Yeah. R.I.P.
I know, God, 7 years. I'm not gonna lie, my chin has never been colder.
I believe that. Your mustache looks good, though, I gotta say.
Right? A lot of people say I'm gonna have to fucking shave it off. I was like, why can't I just hold on to what I have left? It's like my fucking house burned down, but at least the doorknob's still in good shape. It's let me hold on to what
Yeah.
I mean, there's a policy, when it comes to wearing respirators. Sideburns above the earlobe, mustache above the lip line. Let me keep what I can. I'm not gonna lie, I may grow back the soul patch a little bit. We'll see. Haven't decided yet.
Yeah.
I gotta tell you, man, it was one of the hardest fucking things in my life. There was a moment I sat in that bathroom, I'm like, is it worth keeping the house over this?
I feel you. It's a real important identity thing.
Yeah, because I pride myself on having a certain amount of things that make me look good, and my beard was one of them. Now, It's unfortunate that after I shaved, I realized there is a second chin under here that I've never fucking noticed. So that was sad, but I guess
that's the worst part about shaving the beard.
Yeah, so I guess I just have to live by the whole theory of keep your chin up. So, I don't look like an overweight turkey. So, but I don't know. We're not here to talk about that. That's too depressing to talk about.
Yeah.
All right, Joe. Let's dive into some of our questions that are submitted by some of our listeners, some of our
Let's
friends.
do this. So excited.
All right. This one came from Becca. She did acknowledge that we did have our Portillo's video. She should have watched the Portillo's video.
Oh, nice.
She mentioned what weird food combinations do you actually enjoy? So what's your weirdest food combination that others may think is weird, but you think is okay?
The weirdest food combination that I like that other people think is weird?
Other people may think it's weird.
It's a good question.
Mm-hmm.
My knee jerk is so I eat lots of things that my wife just really does not. She's like disgusted by.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't mean just like because she's a vegetarian. I just mean that I eat meat and she doesn't. The other day I was having a bagel. It was an Asiago cheese bagel with strawberry cream cheese, and she thought that was very weird.
That is weird.
Oh, it's so good. It's a wonderful sweet savory thing. You got like the fruit flavor and the cheese flavor. It's like a cheese plate for breakfast. It's great. Big fan of that. Another thing that comes to mind is growing up. I think you and I have talked about this before, but my dad would mix grape jelly into scrambled eggs.
Yep.
And for the longest time, that was disgusting to me because it makes the eggs like green colored.
Mm-hmm.
I now find that delicious. I think it's really tasty. So jelly on eggs is definitely on the list for me. Those are the first two to come to mind. What about you?
You know what? Like honestly, like when I first saw this, like I was trying to think of like what I would eat that is like strange, and honestly, like I don't think there is anything. Like, I don't do ketchup on hot dogs. I don't do jam on eggs. I mean, I am so like particular on how I eat things. Like I don't eat a sandwich that has mustard and cheese on it.
Oh wow.
And I don't know, I don't know why. I have no idea. Like, I'll eat a sandwich if I put cheese on it. Like, I'll put like mayo or Miracle Whip or something like that. But for some reason, I can't bring myself to put mustard on the same sandwich that I have cheese on.
Huh.
And like, I don't, like, there's no rhyme or reason to it. It's just how like, it just never sounded good to me. I think we talked about it actually, not too long ago. When people put jam and butter on the same bread.
Oh, so good.
If the butter is melted and not visible, I can put jam on it. But if it's visible, I can't do it. And I don't know what caused it. Now I know my mom, she's like very OCD when it comes to her food. Like food can't touch on a plate.
Right.
She gets appalled by some of the things Carl does with foods that he shouldn't be doing. But at the same time, I don't think my mom likes the fact that I put ketchup on hash browns.
Oh,
to me, that's normal because it's potato. It's like French fries and stuff like that. But to her, that's gross. So maybe there's like some subconscious thing when it comes to it, but like realistically, I try to stay as normal to things like as I guess like society sees as normal. But yeah, no, there was just no way of answering this because I couldn't think of anything like logically. Now I'm sure like down the line there's gonna be something I eat where somebody's like, "What the fuck are you doing?" I'm like, "Ah, damn, this is it."
I've got another one for you while I'm thinking about it. So in Japan, they've got this dish where you take leftover rice and you cook it in the microwave, and then you break a raw egg into it and you stir it together really quickly, and the residual heat of the rice will cook the egg. That's pretty tasty. I really like it. But I decided, I'm an American, so I'm going to do it a little differently. And, what I like to do every once in a while when I'm feeling decadent is I'll take a bowl of oatmeal and I'll crack a raw egg into it and I'll whip it all together, so that I get the oatmeal all nice and yolky. Ah, so good.
Joey, God no.
Delicious.
God no. we gotta do a video taste test of all your weird food things, and I'll try them. I will try them.
I'll think of 5 or 6.
I'll probably get sick, but I will try them because God, that makes me nauseous just thinking about it. Like I still got my bowl of cereal over here. I plan on eating when we're done. I don't think I can now because of what you just said with oatmeal and how this is like oatmeal, like based oats and shit.
Sorry.
No, it's fine, man. Steve asks us, what social stigma does society need to get over?
Oh man, so many. So many.
What do you think the most important one is?
My knee jerk is gay people being married or showing affection in public.
All right, so PDA for
PDA
people.
Presenting, I guess, even as anything other than heteronormative. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Let people wear what they want. Let people look how they want to look. Whatever makes them confident, that's fine with me. It doesn't affect me.
Right.
It shouldn't affect you.
Right. It's like that song. If you want to speak out, speak out. If you want to be free, be free.
Yeah. Word.
Or to quote Kevin Hart, you do you, boo boo. You
Nice.
do you.
Yeah. Or to quote me, follow your star.
Follow your star. I agree on that. I think it doesn't matter what gender you are or what gender you're dating. I think PDA should be acceptable to a degree. Like, I still don't want to see a man and woman full out going at it on a park bench in the middle of the day. But, it doesn't matter if you're a man dating a woman, a man dating a man, a woman dating a woman, whatever you classify yourself as, and whoever you're with. You want to hold hands, you want to put your hands in each other's pockets, you want to kiss each other on the cheek, hey, whatever, that's your life.
Right? Yeah, exactly.
It doesn't affect me. I don't give a shit,
Mm-hmm.
It's like, it's not like it's my life is going to change because I see it in public. But, if I see you guys have a blanket over your lap and all of a sudden, like, hand motions are being moved, I'll probably have a concern over it.
Yeah, that's inappropriate. I get, yeah.
Yeah, but I do believe that people are too focused on other people's personal lives because of the uncomfortable way that they grew up. It's like, it is 2020. It's time to kind of move on from the petty things that mean absolutely nothing.
Yep.
Let's see here. What is something you bought that you instantly regret paying that much for?
So many things. Do you want to go first this time, or?
Yeah, probably a couple PlayStation 4 games I spent some money on, just thinking that because I played the baseball game, I loved how it is. So I was like, maybe I'll just buy the MLB game or the NBA game, and it'll be just as fun, and I bought the package one. It was like $70-$80, and it's just horrible. It's not fun at all. It sucks. I tried playing the career mode. It wasn't that good. It was just very lackluster to me. I was expecting a little bit more out of it. The shooting kind of sucked too. Plus, I never played the game, so it was too difficult to really kind of follow. And honestly, anytime I have to get a new phone on my plan, and the fact that it costs an extra $40 a month really fucking sucks. Like, you can't just get like an old phone for like free and shit like Nextel used to do and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Major costs, not so much. If I had to pick the biggest thing I spent money on that I instantly regretted, it was probably, the engagement ring I got from my ex that I never gave to her.
Crushing.
Yeah. I mean, now, luckily I was able to get the money back, but I guess the moment of like, she's worth it. And the fact that I was laid off from my job and she was so supportive of me for being laid off. And I was like, this is a girl that I want to spend the rest of my life with. And I spent every dollar I had in my account to buy it for her, just for her to get pissy at me because I couldn't afford to buy her a Christmas gift. So,
God.
That was
your Christmas gift. It's your gift for the year, damn it.
Right? Like, my whole plan was to propose to her on Christmas, but we started like bickering and stuff like beforehand. And I was like, I don't want to give her an engagement ring to because I don't want her to think it's a fix. You know, like, you know, I want to make sure we're in a good place before I propose to her. Because something happened within the first couple weeks of Christmas. I think like I went out drinking with a friend of mine. Like, it was just day drinking because I didn't have a job.
Right.
And we went up to the bar here in my town, and I was just drinking Busch Light, and he was paying for it. Like, I didn't buy anything. I mean, they're like 75 cents a piece. You know, I don't drink Busch Light.
Right.
But it was cheap. You know, it's like, you know, yeah, we'll go out. And we had like maybe 3 or 4. We're just out there for a couple hours. And she was pissed that I was out spending money at the bar. And I was like, okay, well, first off, you know, it's like I wasn't spending my money. Josh was buying me drinks. We just drink Busch Light. It cost maybe $4. And why are you so mad about my money when it's my money? You know, like, we're just dating. We don't even live together at this time. But
right.
That last part is probably the wrong answer to it. But when it comes to major spending, yeah, it was probably the engagement ring, because I think that put me into like a different feeling spectrum that I shouldn't have been in at that time. But I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah.
But definitely the games. The games were the stupidest thing ever. But everything else, I think I'm pretty cautious. I mean, I'll spend a couple bucks here and there on some like app games that are probably dumb to do, but
yeah, I feel that.
Yeah. What about you?
Yeah, I think just in terms of like everyday spending, you ever since we've been in the lockdown, I also have used Grubhub a little more than I probably should.
Yeah.
And there is nothing worse than ordering food from a new restaurant and paying that Grubhub delivery fee. And you got to pay the extra money because you didn't hit the $12 whatever to have the fee be cheaper. Or next thing you know, you've spent about $20 on a chicken sandwich that's terrible and like tater tots that are soggy and can't even be fixed by ketchup.
A while ago, I wanted to try that new pub burger from Wendy's.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know, that sounds good. I really want to get it. And Grubhub starts, I mean, because of COVID, that's probably the only positive that I got out of COVID was Grubhub started delivering to my town.
Nice.
It didn't before. So
wow.
I was like, yeah. So I was like, you know what? I think I want to try that pub burger, and I'll just have it delivered by Grubhub. So I was going to get the pub burger with the large fry and the large strawberry lemonade. It came out to $10.99. At checkout, somehow it was $26.
Yep. Yep,
and
that's what I was waiting to hear.
Yeah, and I'm like, what the hell? And it's like the taxes, delivery fee, blah, 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 you know, the tip. I'm like, I'm not spending $25 on something that cost me $10 and maybe a 10-minute drive.
Yep.
You know, like I'm lazy, but I'm not that fucking lazy where I'm going to pay twice as much money for the same amount of food.
Yep.
Now, the only thing the one great one that I found a lot was Firehouse Subs.
Oh, nice.
They had free delivery and $10 off the order.
Nice.
So like when like Colin would come over and we would like work on my woodworking stuff in the garage, I'd order a sandwich, he'd order a sandwich. It'd be like $15 with tip because the sandwich is only $10 a piece. The other one's $10. That takes the 10 off, and then the delivery was free.
Right.
But Grubhub. I mean that takes a real person, a strong commitment to pay that shit.
Yep.
And I guess at the same time I kind of understand, like, you know, like you get the Grubhub Plus for $9.99 a month, and you get free delivery on all Grubhub established places, I guess. But
right. That's what they're trying to do, I think, is push people to pay for the subscription service. But oof. But yeah, that would be the number one right off the top of my head thing is food that wasn't as good as I thought it would be, and was more expensive than it should have been. I think, as far as big purchases go, probably, this wasn't technically my purchase, but I participated in it. Was, my mom got the 3 of us kids braces, the Invisalign things at our dentist in Lafayette.
Yeah.
And, they convinced me into it by saying it was going to make my mouth healthier or something. You know, and I was like, okay, well, I mean, if it's going to make my mouth healthier, and I know that gingivitis is tied to heart disease, and heart disease runs in my family, this seems like a good idea, right?
Yeah.
I finished the thing, and I didn't do it perfectly, but I got through it. And do you feel like you And I was like, I didn't do this for looks. Does my mouth look healthy to you? And he didn't have an answer for me. And it was like $1,500. Like, and my teeth are still fucked up. Because the other thing is they didn't listen to me when I said, hey, I think maybe I need to get my wisdom teeth out before you give me braces. Because otherwise I'm going to spend this money on braces and then my wisdom teeth coming in are going to move my teeth. He's like, don't worry about it. So, yeah, don't go to him if you're ever, I don't remember his name. So, just don't go to any dentists in Lafayette, Indiana. Drive all the way out to go somewhere else. I don't know where else dentists are, but terrible. Yeah, that's probably the worst thing. And then of course there are a number of Kickstarter projects that I've backed and then been like, I didn't have the money to back that. I shouldn't have done that. So,
yeah, I don't know what it was. I tried to back some kind of Kickstarter and like it wouldn't take my credit card or some shit. And I'm like, maybe it's a sign.
Yep. It's a good sign.
Yeah.
Just walk away.
What is the most epic way you or somebody you know was either fired or quit a job?
That's a good question. Do you have an answer to this one?
I really don't. You know what? I do. I think I may have told this story on here, but when I worked at McDonald's, my first time around, I was doing a bowling league, and I couldn't work Saturday days, and I made sure I put that on my schedule. I could work any day, during the week, and I was still in school, so I could work any day during the week after 3 o'clock. I could work all day Sunday. I could work Saturday nights. So pretty open schedule, except for Sunday mornings, at least until 3 o'clock, because the thing was at 11, we got done at 1, blah, blah. They didn't change my schedule, so they had me working at 6 a.m. on Saturday. And I told them, like, hey, I can't do it. I got bowling league, blah, blah. And they're like, oh, well, we'll find someone to cover it, blah, blah. I said, okay. So the following week, they never changed. I said, hey, you got coverage for Saturday, right? It's like, oh, I know, I forgot about it, but don't worry, we'll get taken care of. Okay, cool. Friday came around, it still wasn't changed. It's like, hey, I'm not here tomorrow, right? Because the schedule hasn't changed yet. And they completely forgot entire conversations. And so, no, you need to be here. You're on the schedule. I'm like, I'm not going to be here tomorrow. I told you this.
Right. For weeks now.
Yeah. So I was like, that's not part of my availability. So, anyway, so I don't show up. I didn't show up. I told them I went to the bowling league and everything. And, I go into work on Sunday because I was scheduled to work on Sunday at 4 a.m. I did because they open at 5, I gotta be there an hour early to do the, setups and shit. So, I do all the setups and everything, get through the lunch rush, or the breakfast rush and everything, church and all that shit. And then right after we do changeover, from breakfast to lunch, my GM walks up to me with a sheet of paper. And I said, what is this? She's like, this is your self-termination paperwork. I'm like, for what? She's like, you didn't show up for work yesterday. I was like, I know, I wasn't scheduled to work yesterday because they fixed it. And she said, no, sir, you were supposed to be here yesterday. Your name's on the schedule. You didn't show up. And it's like, well, I told them for 2 weeks that I no longer work Saturday mornings because I have a bowling league that I participate in. And they're like, well, sir, you need to make a decision on what's more important, bowling leagues or work. And I said, well, bowling didn't just fire me. You did. And she said, no. You self-terminated yourself because you refused to show up for work. And that's when I realized nobody gets fired from McDonald's. You do something to where you choose to no longer work there. So I took the paperwork, I tore it up, I threw it in the garbage, I gave her my hat, gave her my shirt, and I walked out.
Nice.
So, stupidest fucking thing. And the second time I got let go from McDonald's, I actually have 2 of them, both from McDonald's, if you don't mind me telling it.
No, go ahead.
I was a maintenance guy. My job worked from like 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. I got my work done by like 4 a.m. and shit like that, so I got done like a lot quicker, so I kind of just procrastinated the last 2 hours. Eventually they found out and they told me like, I can no longer be a maintenance guy because I do procrastinate. It's like, well, I would leave when I'm done, but I'm locked in here until, 6 a.m., blah, blah, all that other shit.
Right.
So they told me that I had an option. I could either come back as a crew member, or I could just, no longer work here. And I said, okay, well, can you give me at least until the end of the week to kind of decide what I want to do? And the girl said, fine. Awesome lady because of it. So this was on Tuesday. We had this conversation. My checks were available to be picked up on Wednesday, and I was given until Friday to decide. So Wednesday I walk in, and there's this big guy there, Ben, piece of shit. I walk up to him like, hey Ben, I need my check. And he's like, oh, Travis, hear that you no longer work here. And I was like, well, no, I was given the ultimatum to either come back as a crew person or, not work here anymore. But I have until Friday to make the decision when I sit down with Paula again and talk about it. And he's like, well, if you had to decide right now, what would you want to do? He's like, honestly, I don't know if I want to come back as a crew person. He pointed right at me. He's like, you just self-terminated yourself, sir. Handed me a sheet of paper from underneath the counter like he was waiting for me. And told me to leave the property. And I said, well, I'm not leaving until I get my paycheck, and you can't fire me because I have until Friday to make a decision. He's like, nope, this is signed by Paula herself, that if you decided you didn't want to work here, you choose to quit, so you have self-terminated yourself. And I just yelled in front of all the customers. I was like, fuck you, Ben, you're trash. That's why all your girlfriends are 20 years younger than you and fucking minors. And I walked away.
That's much more epic than any job I've ever quit.
Yeah. The unfortunate thing was, dude was in his 30s and he was dating a 17-year-old. It was fucking creepy.
That's gross. That's gross.
Yeah, it's fucking creepy. Yeah.
Ugh.
But it's Indiana, and that's the legal age of consent.
That's true. That's true. I knew a dude who, I didn't know him personally. I knew his kid. Mm-hmm. He was in his 50s dating a 17-year-old. Like, come on, man.
Yeah, it's weird. It's like even people say, the whole thing about, you take half your age and add 7. And I'm like, okay, if I do that, then the youngest I could date is 22, 23. I'm like, that just seems a little too young. Now, if there's a compatibility, yeah, sure, why not? Why the fuck,
yeah, different.
But, to a certain point, it's just young is too young. I'm at a certain point in my life where, as long as you can legally drink and vote, fuck it. But even then, you gotta find that maturity of understanding, I'm at a point in my life where I can still go out and have fun, but I still want to sit at home and, enjoy my time in.
Right.
I don't want somebody who wants to go to Bourbon Street every fucking weekend and shit,
Right. Yeah, I'm over it.
Yeah. What about you? Got any firing or quitting stories by you or somebody else?
No, I really don't. The closest thing I got to a quitting story that was even remotely confrontational was I got called in on a day that I had off, and I was like, oh man, I really can't come in today. And the person who was managing was like, oh no, really? And I was like, yeah, I've kind of got some stuff going on. She's like, oh, okay. I was like, by the way, I've been thinking about coming in and talking to you about something. You available right now? And so I drove over there, and I was like, yeah, I need to quit. And she was like, oh, okay. What's personal reasons? And I was like, yep, personal reasons. Here's my shirt. Here's my hat. And I left. But I was working at Wendy's, and they were like, it's easily the worst job I've ever had. I got to be honest. Mm-hmm. We're working for them in Lafayette. So they had me work until 2 a.m. on school nights. First of all, when I was in high school. And then second of all, rather than just letting me get my fucking job done, they had a mandatory, everyone has to go outside because I want to have a smoke break time. Mm-hmm. So I couldn't just stay inside and clean the stuff that took 3 hours to clean. I had to go outside and stand there while my coworkers had a cigarette. And it's this is dumb. I just want to go home.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's how I felt about McDonald's. The only reason I didn't mind working till 2 a.m. on school nights is because I had late arrival to school, so I didn't have to be there till 9:15 or some shit. But yeah, no, I was in the same boat. It's no matter what, even if we close at midnight, we can't leave until 1 a.m. or 1:30 a.m. And I was just but if I finish my work, why can't I leave? I got school tomorrow. I was they won't allow you to punch out. So no matter what, cause we would start closing ahead of time, 11:30, 11, stuff like that. We started shutting everything down, getting everything washed up. we'd be done by 12:15.
Yeah.
And I was like, hey, can I take off? And like, no, you gotta stay till 1. I'm like, why? And they would ask the policy. I'm like, yeah, but I mean, I do got school tomorrow after all. And
yeah,
like,
there's nothing else to do. Why do I need to stay? Why wouldn't you want to save that money? I'm an hourly worker.
Yeah. Yeah. But they're criminal anyways. There was a time when, it was like during the Will County Fair, and there was a day I worked 19 hours.
Jesus.
It was like 6 a.m. to 1 a.m. I think that's 19 hours. I can't fucking remember, but because of that, I worked a 60-hour work week, and the following week, my manager and at this point, like, you know, like I'm fairly new to like the work lifestyle and shit. This is my first real job. You know, at fucking 16 years old.
Right.
And my GM telling me, because I was walking in on Sunday, and he's like, hey, you know, I need you to, you know, go home. I was like, why? He's like, well, because you worked 60 hours last week, we have to cut some of your hours this week. So we're only going to have you work 20 hours this week so we could give you an 80-hour paycheck. And I was like, oh, okay. And in my mind, I was like, well, shit, you know, I'm only working 20 hours. I got free time and shit. Well, it turns out they took the 20 hours of overtime I got last week and put it onto this week, so it was straight 80 instead of 60 hours with 20 hours of overtime.
Yep. So, yep. I'm pretty sure that is illegal.
It's 100% illegal.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it was also 17 years ago. So. Or 15 years ago. So.
Right.
Yeah. No, it's 100% fucking illegal. And they did it to a lot of people for a very long fucking time.
Yeah. I wonder what the statute of limitations is on that. I wonder if you guys could get a class action going.
Right. See if I get my $300 back.
Yeah, get that house paid off.
Oh God. All right, so this is from one of my friends. She says, "Can't wait for this freaky show. Love Freak Joe stories." So there you go, Joe. You got a fan.
Nice.
Yeah. Shout out to Michelle. In the past, people were buried with their items that they would need in the afterlife. What would you want to be buried with so you could use it in your afterlife?
That's a really good question.
Yeah.
You know, if I could actually use it in my afterlife, I would want to be buried with my phone, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because then I could contact people from beyond the grave.
There you go. I think as long as I had my boots and my travesty hat, I'd probably be okay.
Yeah, right.
I'd really want to be buried with our merch.
Nice.
It's not because I want to try to sell it on the other side. It's because, you know, I created the designs. I'm kind of proud of them.
Nice.
You know, I mean, obviously, I definitely want my cross I've had since I was 7 that Mom gave me for Christmas. I'd want my beard to grow back, but I think if I had my boots, maybe you say freak like it's a bad thing. #Freak Nation shirt, now available at tpublic.com by searching TFS. And my travesty, I think I'd be okay.
That's a really solid answer.
Yeah. Let's see here.
I suppose it'd be hard not to bring my books. I love my books, but it's like, why? I guess my problem, part of my difficulty in answering this question is like, I believe that on the other side, all of these things will exist. So it's like, I don't really need to bring it with me. They'll have libraries.
That's true. I mean, if you brought your phone, I'm sure you could use your Audible app.
Right? That's true.
Yeah. What would be the worst thing to hear as you're going under anesthesia before a heart surgery?
Oh shit, no!
I think mine would be, alright, let's give this a shot.
Yeah.
Or where's the heart at?
Right. Nurse Ratchet, you brought the lube, right?
It's like, it's kind of funny for a foot doctor to be doing this. What's the spiciest thing you've ever eaten?
Probably ghost pepper powder on B-Dub's wings.
Really?
Yeah, like maybe it was a sauce. I can't remember, but I think it was a ghost pepper.
I know they had a ghost pepper wing. It was a moist wing. Okay. I don't know if they ever did a dry rubbed one though, but that was gonna be my guess too. Actually, that's a lie. The Blazing Challenge wings were a lot hotter than those.
Are they hotter? I've had those too.
Well, see, that's the thing, because like my buddy Jason used to work there, and the blazing wings they use in the challenge are not the same as the blazing wings that you would regularly order.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, they make them spicier in some way. Like
now I gotta do the challenge for real.
Yeah, he tried to explain it to me, but it's like I know like they had like more butter to make it like get hotter or something like that, and they had more sauces onto it. He's like the Blazing Challenge wings are hotter than the Blazing wings. I mean, they make you sign the form for like if you develop stomach ulcers, you can't sue Buffalo Wild Wings and shit like that. But I've had the ghost pepper wings. The first two weren't that bad, but as you keep eating them, they do get a little bit rough. But if I recall, the Blazing Challenge wings, first one in was hard. So
gotcha. I've never had the Blazing Challenge wings. Then I didn't know that they were different.
I didn't know they were different because I've had blazing wings numerous times before that.
Same.
This is fucking easy, but it was definitely rough. So
yeah, I'm trying to think. There was also that sauce, the Da Bomb. That's the name of it.
Yeah.
That's up there on the list for me, for sure.
Yeah. Buffalo Wild Wings has a Carolina Reaper wing now. I do want to give a shot.
I need to try that. That sounds. My mouth was watering.
I almost got it because fucking Buffalo Wild Wings is free delivery right now. But I mean, like, you have to like spend like $15 or some shit, and it's like their burgers are $13 alone. I'm like, I can't justify buying a $13 fucking burger when I could go to fucking Wendy's and get one for $10.
No, you just got to have wings for lunch. And since it's Thursday, you get the boneless wings, and you get 2 for the price of 1. You get the snack, and you end up with 10 wings. They
don't do that through Grubhub though, right?
Oh, I don't know, actually. I never tried. I order from their website directly. I think they use DoorDash, actually.
When was the last time you got to tell someone I told you so?
Oh, man. Oh, most recently, it was, and it feels weird. I haven't even told my dad yet that I'm buying a house, but here I am telling strangers on the internet. When we first went to look at this house, we went to put in an offer and someone had already taken it. And I kept checking almost obsessively every day to check and see if the status would change, from for sale to contingent. And it never changed. And finally, I kept telling my wife, like, I don't think it's sold. I don't think it went through. And so finally I emailed the realtor and said, hey, can you check on this? Because it's been a week and it still hasn't changed status. And she checked on it, and sure enough, it was available, so we put in an offer. And that was the moment when I got to turn to my wife and say, I told you so. I knew it. I was right.
Nice.
Yeah, that's the most recent time, about a month ago.
Gotcha. Mine was when a friend of mine had her relationship was like bad with this dude for like years, on and off. And we'd always talk about it. She'd always come to me and kind of like, chat with me about, like, well, he did this, he did that. And my biggest question to her is like, why do you still talk to him? Like, why is he still a part of your life, And, she would say like, yeah, you're right, blah, blah. And I was like, what you need to do is you need to delete him out of your phone, delete him off of Snapchat, delete him any way to communicate with you, just delete it. And she's like, you're right, I'm going to do it. And I was like, I don't think you're going to do it. She's like, no, I swear I'm going to do it. And then like 2 weeks later, she's like, well, I was talking to so-and-so and this is what happened. I'm like, I thought you were going to delete it. She's like, well, yeah. I'm like, but you didn't, did you? She's like, no. And I'm like, I told you you wouldn't. She's like, you're right. I'm like, you gotta stop saying that I'm right. And you gotta start doing the right fucking thing. But
stop saying I'm right. Just do it.
Yeah. Being me, I say it a lot because I mean, it's a rough way to live life, but I'm usually not wrong.
Yep.
I'm right quite often. Yeah,
yep,
it's crazy.
Same.
But it's like, it's logic at that point. It's not me guessing. It's like, I'm sorry, but if he's a piece of shit now, he's going to be a piece of shit in 6 months.
Right? Exactly.
You know, it just fucking happens.
Straightforward.
Let's see, we got a couple more here. Let's see if we want to do this in any particular order. What artist or band do you always recommend when somebody asks for a music recommendation?
What's your answer to this?
I usually always go for, depending on the person, I'll go for like Luke Combs or Kenny Chesney, something country if they're like a country fan. If they like rock, I always like Theory of a Dead Man, AC/DC,
Nice.
something, that like really hits. I mean, obviously I guess it kind of depends on like what kind of mood they're in. If they're looking for like, somebody to listen to at the gym or somebody to listen to at home and stuff like that. But I mean, fuck it. I mean, I'm a Nickelback fan, and I'm not afraid to fucking say it. I would, right?
Yeah.
It's like, I like Nickelback. No shame in it.
They're
It's such
fine.
a good
They're
band.
fine. I have nothing against them, actually.
Right. So, I mean, and I'd recommend them as well, no shame. But Theory of a Dead Man is usually on the top of the list of songs that, what's a band that you probably think I never listened to that I should? And sometimes it's Theory of a Dead Man, because they are a pretty good fucking band.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember mine because I suddenly can't.
I'm assuming it's Flogging Molly.
No, it used to be. It definitely used to be.
be.
Yeah. No, nowadays it's more like Foxy Shazam, are fantastic. Sean James is good. I like Billie Eilish a lot. I'd recommend her. Why can't I remember the name of this band? I was listening to them almost every day, for a long time, and suddenly I just stopped listening to them. I think I just started listening to podcasts instead of music.
Mm-hmm.
And, it was something Brothers. And they had this song that was just so, it got me through Grandpa Snedden's death. I Have No Enemies was the name of the song, I think. The Avett Brothers. That's their name. No Hard Feelings.
Okay.
The Avett Brothers are excellent. If you like something a little bit more folksy, a little bit more country-ish, the Avett Brothers are really, really good. I really recommend them. If you like something that's a little bit more, like 80s, like Queen or something like that, I would recommend Foxy Shazam.
What song hits you with?
Queen meets the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned Queen. So, what song hits you with a wave of nostalgia every time you hear them? For me, it's We Will Rock You by Queen, Radio Gaga by Queen. Queen's one of those nostalgic kind of bands for me. What about you? Do you have a certain band or song that hits nostalgia for you every time you hear it? Like Tub Thumpin' from Chumbawamba?
That one does hit me with nostalgia, I'm not going to lie. I never knew the name of the song until literally right now. But Blink-182's I Miss You.
Hello there, angel from my nightmare.
That song brings me right back to being a middle schooler.
Right. Where are you? I'm so sorry. I cannot sleep. I cannot dream tonight.
Yep.
Demonetized.
Dancing with my middle school crush.
Right.
Dancing with her again. We danced to that song, I think, at prom.
That's how you know we're from different generations, Joe. Even though we're so close together in age, because at my middle school prom, we danced to "Don't Want to Miss a Thing" by Aerosmith.
Ooh, nice. No, I think that was there too, but that's we were.
Yeah, but you were with Blink-182.
Yeah, we were scene kids. So
there's no Steven Tyler when it comes to Travis Barker.
No. So that's probably, or really anything. What really gets me is I found a CD of My Chemical Romance in the car, which it's not it is my CD now, but it wasn't my CD. It was Houston at one point just gave me a whole binder of CDs. Like, hey, I don't have a CD player in my car anymore. Here's everything I used to listen to while driving down to school. And I was like, oh, great. I got a CD player. I'll keep these. And so I popped in a My Chemical Romance disc, and I didn't know a single song on there, but I knew all of the songs on there. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And every single one of them was like, oh my God, I am 13 again. This is weird. I shouldn't be driving. I'm not old enough to drive.
Oh God. This one was kind of directed towards me, but I want you to answer it too. Travis, what's the worst backhanded compliment you ever gave someone? You just seem like somebody who would do that. I do have one in mind, but Joey, if you have one, I'd love to hear yours first.
Nice. I am terrible at backhanded compliments. It's not really my thing.
Maybe the one I have in my head isn't a backhanded compliment. I think it is. I'll say it to you.
Okay.
And, let's role play, Joe. Tell me something that you tried to do and couldn't do it.
Yeah.
You can make it up. It don't matter.
Oh, okay, sure. So I was trying to change the tire on my car, and because it had been so long since we'd done any maintenance, it was really hard for me to break the not break, but get the what are they called? Why can't I think of the word of them? Lug nuts. I couldn't get the lug nuts to turn with the bar that they include in the set in your car.
Yeah.
And even trying to stand on it and jump up and down, it just would not come undone.
Gotcha. Well, you know what, Joe? You tried. And I can honestly say you did the best you could do with what you're capable of doing.
That's fantastic. That's really good.
All right. 9 times out of 10, I just say it as a joke. It's like, hey, you know what? At least you did the best you could with what you're capable of doing. At least you could say you tried.
Fantastic.
Oh, God. Got only 2 more here.
I did eventually get it undone, but
I'm proud of you, though, Joe.
Here and there.
I know you were capable of more than that.
Yep. Thanks. No, I think I avoid them because, I tend to overthink things, and so, I start thinking about, man, if I say that, what if I accidentally crush someone's confidence? I just, I worry too much.
Yeah, Jim. Do you believe censorship when it comes to what the fuck? Vulgarity? Vulgarity? That means swear words and shit, right?
Yeah.
Do you believe vulgarity is too extreme when it comes to TV nowadays? Obviously, we can hear the word shit, but why can't we hear the word fuck on television?
Yeah, it's weird that that's not allowed.
Yeah, I mean, I know in PG-13 movies, you can say the F word once, right?
Yep, yeah. Sure can.
Yeah, I would open it up. I mean, why not say the F word on TV? I think there's I don't know if it's FX or something, but I thought some channel was allowing the F word to be said now. But it's weird because there are shows I'll watch that they'll say ass, but they won't say asshole.
Yeah.
Which I think
they can say dick, but not if they're talking about a penis.
Yeah.
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 It's weird.
Mm.
Yeah. I don't care. I really don't think it should be up to content creators to mitigate themselves. I think it should be up to parents to pay attention to what the fuck their kids are watching or listening to or reading and do the responsible thing of being hey, that's not age appropriate. Or, go ahead and watch the show, but you're not allowed to repeat that line because those are adult words. You can't say those words until you're a little older.
Yeah.
Well,
I know growing up, I mean, and it's 100% Carl. We weren't allowed to swear until we were 18.
Right.
I know if Carl wasn't around, my mom wouldn't have given a shit.
Right.
But I know the moment I turned 18 years old, I think you were there. We were in the pool. The moment it was 12:01, I was like, fuck shit, damn it, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, which was fun because I graduated that Friday and I turned 18 that Saturday.
Yeah.
So it was May 25th was my graduation day. May 26th was my birthday. So I graduated at 17 years old. A prodigy. I get it. All right. Last question for you, Joe.
All right.
What name would you want to name a child? What name do you want to name your child that your wife would not let you name them? What is a name that you would like to that you think she would be okay with?
So we've actually, this has been something that she and I have talked about extensively over the years. And so there aren't any names that I can think of that I would want to name a kid that I haven't already gotten signed off on.
Okay.
Yeah. So that being said, the weirdest one is probably, the one that I would most love to name a firstborn son, Godric Wayne.
Godric?
Godric Wayne. Yep.
How would you spell that?
Godric.
Okay. So, like Roderick, but G.
Yep.
Well, Roderick
it's an old
with a K too, but whatever. Okay.
Yeah. So it's an old English name. I think it's pretty cool. I don't know what it means. I just like the sound of it. Sounds like a strong name.
What would be the shortened version? God or Rick?
Probably Rick.
Rick?
Yep.
I'd probably call him God.
Yeah, that's fine.
Right. Come here, G.O.D.
Give him a G.O.D. You know, I had a dog growing up named D.O.G.
I know.
That's so funny.
I know.
Holy mackerel.
I remember Carl telling me that. Like, yeah, we had a dog named D.O.G. I'm like, that is the stupidest fucking name I've ever heard. He's like, it's D.O.G. like dog. And I'm like, oh! There we go.
Yep. It's great.
I would call your child, come here, G.O.D.
Yep. Yep. I forget, there was another one. I love the name Alistair a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But I couldn't think of a good middle name for it.
Gotcha. I did, when I was dating Jenna, we did talk about like, kids' names and stuff like that, just for the hell of it. I mean, obviously, we weren't even engaged, but we were talking about the future. The biggest one that she loved that I came up with was, Kenneth Michael, because her grandfathers were Kenny and Mike. And I thought that'd be a nice way to kind of like honor them and make her happy. I wanted to name a kid Waylon Walker. I don't know why, but I just like the name Waylon. I like the name Walker. And my fear of only having one son, I might just name him Waylon Walker. One that I never got approval on was, Austin Scott or Andrew Scott.
Nice.
And Pamela Marie, because with my last name, the initials are ASS and PMS, and, she didn't find it that funny.
That's funny.
But I do think Austin Scott is a great name.
Yeah, it's a good name. It's a senator's name. Senator Austin Scott Sturba.
Right. Well, don't say my last name on air.
Oh, sorry.
I don't give a shit. People know who I am by now.
Yeah.
Austin. Yeah. I think that's an honorable politician.
Yeah.
Which reminds me, thanks for reminding me, I have to go to the village to get my, my trustee paperwork.
Oh, yeah, you do.
I do. Yeah, that's available.
Cool.
No, that was the last question. Awesome.
That was good. Those were good questions this year, friends.
Right.
Thank you.
Right. They were civil. I think the only bad the one, I think the only line drawing question was the second one, the social stigma.
Yeah.
Yeah. So other than that, great questions. Awesome questions. Thank you guys for participating in that. And who knows, maybe we'll do it on the 300th episode.
Yeah, I dig it.
Joe, what are you freaking thinking about?
Home ownership.
Yeah.
Yep. It's been foremost in my mind for about a week.
Yeah. Well, you said what? Yeah. 5 days, something like that.
5 days. Yeah, it's coming up. Up.
Nice. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. What about you? What are you freaking thinking about?
As of right now, from my understanding, is I start my new job on Monday.
Nice. Yep.
Yeah. What can I say about it? It's not something I wanted, but it's going to be something that's going to help me in the long run, and I might learn to love it. It's new to me, just like a lot of the other jobs I've been doing. I had to shave for it, which I'm not a big fan of. I do love my beard. But I gotta get all the rest of the paperwork finalized. I got an email that the background check came back clean. I did the drug test and stuff yesterday. That should be in on Friday. That should come back clean. And nice. Yeah, so starting Monday, I should be employed once again, and hopefully kind of get my life back in order.
Yep, here's my backhanded compliment about it. It is certainly by all measures a job.
Yeah. Yeah. That's true. That's a good one, Joe. I like that. Oh, God. Guys, make sure you do check out the Freakin Studios YouTube page. Make sure you subscribe to it, hit the notification bell, and watch out for the cemetery vlogs that me and the Freak Joe put together for you. Again, there's going to be 8 of them. 2 of them released a week over the 4 weeks that October is running for this freaky show, which actually starts next week. So, no, it don't start next week. It starts the week after. Yeah. Is it? Yeah. I don't fucking remember.
I guess it depends.
Yeah.
We could sneak an extra one in. We record on Thursday.
That's true. Yeah, we'll figure it out. Either we'll start next week or the week after. Either way, the videos aren't getting released until, I think we agreed, we're going to release them on Tuesdays and Fridays. So, the first video is going to be released October 6th, and then the 9th, 13th, 16th, 20th, 23rd, and then, 27th and 30th. So, again, make sure you check out those. They'll be posted up on the This Freakin' Show Facebook page, which you can find on Facebook just by searching This Freakin' Show. It'll also be linked on the Freakin' Studios page on Facebook. You can follow This Freakin' Show on iTunes, Instagram, or Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter just by searching This Freakin' Show. Again, follow Freakin' Studios at freakinstudios.com or on Facebook at Freakin' Studios. You can listen to our show every single week on iTunes, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Podbean, and now Amazon Music, just by searching This Freakin' Show. Hey, Joe.
Yes.
Every week our listeners can catch Cartoon Joe here on This Freakin' Show. But if a week of cartoon, or an hour of Cartoon Joe just isn't enough for our listeners, where can they go?
If you need more Cartoon Joe, you can find me over at the Geekcast Live podcast at violentpress.com. You can also find us on Facebook, iTunes, Google Pod, and Twitter by searching Geekcast Live.
Perfect. Guys, make sure you do check out our Facebook page and vote on the polls for the presidential elections that get released when the show gets released. And also make sure you mark your calendars for the week of November 3rd, because the most amazing thing is happening that week. That is right, our 5-year anniversary show is coming out. As of right now, the plan is to have Awkward Colin on. I'm hoping we stick to that because I'd love to have that man back on here. Coughs and sniffles all around. So excited. And then again, obviously we got this freaky show coming up too that we are really excited about doing and everything like that. So, guys, that's all I got. Thank you again for being part of the 200th episode of This Freakin' Show. I am Travesty.
And I'm Cartoon Joe.
And thank you for listening to another episode of This Freakin' Show. I'm out.